First of all, dollar index, and last week price tested this upper trend line and this lower trend line, both at the same time on your big news NAP. So NAP was in favor of rate pause, that is bad for dollar, that's why it came down. And if they repeat more rate hike after CPI, but they are saying before CPI, it's not important, but they are saying more rate hike, and this is latest comment after your NAP. So if they say hike, then dollar will break out this yellow trend line and it will fly above 103 level. Or if they say about pause, then dollar will go down. So this trend line, dynamic resistance and static resistance 103. So next direction of dollar will decide after CPI news. EURUSD is coming down as expected, but after NAP direction has changed and price is still above this trend line. So after NAP number, watch carefully if this trend line retest or not, because your horizontal resistance and this trend line both are at same place. So if trend line retest, you can buy on H1, but if trend line break, then it can go back to 3488 level, and which depend on CPI. Then USD JPY, your parallel channel, but after all of this, price could not break above 145. When BOJ say rate hike and their code word is yield curve control, then your Fitch rating news, all of this thing was bad for treasury, and investors were dumping treasury bond all at the same time. That's why yield were flying, gold was collapsing. So Japan is biggest holder of US treasury, so that's why they immediately changed their monetary policy and they returned back to QE, and they did 2 times last week. Logic here is Fed and BOJ both works together. They make coordinated monetary policy and they explain in detail in ECB forum. So they will wait for Fed rate cut, then they will do rate hike. And that's why it is correction. It is above 137 support, below 145 resistance. But long term, this pair is bearish and it will break below 137 level. But the 10-year bond yield direction immediately changed after NAP number on Friday. That's why direction of this pair also changed. So CPI important because this pair have USD. And your GP JPY, it tried but it could not break above 184 level. So BOJ will wait for Fed rate cut because yield will fly and that can create market crash. So it is coming down and it can break below 176 level, but major support will be 172. So now you have seen last week clear that BOJ and Fed both cannot do rate hike at the same time. It is happening secretly, and until difference between these two things hit 0%, they will do magical thing. But ultimate goal is to reach 0%. And how these central bank do this is headache of Bank of Japan and Fed. So your main focus should be difference 0%, not where 10-year bond yield or 2-year bond yield is going. So last time Silicon Valley Bank collapsed on that magical monetary policy. This time let's see which company go bankrupt. Then your CAD JPY, after making top near 108, now it is coming down and it can break this low, and this area near 102 will be your next big support level. Then GBPUSD price is testing this trend line, and there is a problem with dynamic support. Candle is outside this trend line, but focus should be on horizontal support 26,476. This is your key support, and if this support break, then next it can go back to 21,635. So this week focus on these two support level, but resistance 3106. So breakout of this support this week on GBPUSD depends on dollar index. Then AUDUSD, after retest of this upper trend line, price is back to 61% retracement level. So this is your strong support level. You can say last, if this level break, then it can go back to 61,699. But RVA have paused interest rate last week, and Brazil have started rate cut. So they cannot do that rate hike drama forever. One day Fed has to accept they are in stagflation. So CPI this week will decide this support will survive or not. Then New Zealand dollar, after freak breakout, it retested again this upper trend line, and after breakout, and you can see price tested this trend line before breakout and after breakout. Perfect technical trend line retest breakout setup. And now price is testing this previous low. It is making support. So 61% retracement and this lower white trend line can be your next support. USDCAD flying again, double bottom on your fib projection, and now it is testing this yellow trend line. So if this trend line break out, then buy retest and next target 136. Or after CPI, if dollar become weak, then it can retest this long-term daily trend line as your dynamic support. USD CHF almost there, testing this resistance zone. If it break out, next resistance 90.85, or if it stay below this resistance zone, then it can break out and it can make new lower low. Silver H4 time frame, last week it did same as expected. As explained in last video, it did not make support on 50% retracement. After breakout of 24 level, it went directly to 61% retracement level. So first, it is big retracement for buyer, and it is strong horizontal support. So many people missed because it was powerful news NFP. Only way to buy was limit order. So if this low 23.25 survives CPI news this week, then it will go back to $24. So silver have different price action compared to gold. If it goes down again below 23.25 after CPI news, then buy. Because on daily time frame this trend line is your dynamic support and 20 to 27 is your static support. So this area is your buy zone if it goes down on CPI, and if you have entry on that strong support, then after CPI you can buy again as retracement. So if they say pause, good for silver. If they say more hike after CPI, bad for silver. Bitcoin, no change. It is slowly going down. Major support 25,302. Before that, your short term support 28,500. Oil daily time frame, after retesting this key horizontal resistance 82, it came down, big red candlestick, but immediately OPEC announced production cut. So this thing bullish for oil, and there is a good chance this level can break out and price can hit 93 level. So there is no big support in the middle. So if it break out, then good chance it goes directly to 93. It is war between Biden and OPEC. Biden wants it to go down below 64, but OPEC want oil to stay above 82. Or if Biden do again some magical thing, if it retests 74 level, if you have missed that triangle chart pattern breakout, then you can buy, because either it make correction before breakout or after breakout. So OPEC has made clear, until Biden start buying oil again to refill SPR, they will do production cut. Natural gas, no big change after breakout. It is testing white trend line. If new high come, next resistance 3.4. SP 500 daily time frame, it is coming down after retest of this upper trend line. So no big support before lower trend line of this channel, and this is your dynamic support, and big horizontal support 4200. Before that 4450. This can be your nearest first support, but it is small, not big support. So magic of 5.50% interest rate is happening, and now it is coming down, and before 4200, 4312 can be your next big support level. So after higher CPI number, if they repeat more rate hike, it can go down more. NASDAQ follow correlation with SP 500. Now it is coming down. 15,184 your first nearest support level. Then next 13,720. Dow Jones, it is also coming down. This trend line can be your next big support level, and this rising trend line yellow is your next dynamic support level. And your Apple stock, it is coming down. You can see big red candlestick, and there is a gap between these two candlesticks. So if keep dropping, then this yellow trend line can be your next big support level. It is dynamic trend line, so watch carefully. So SP 500, NASDAQ, for direction you can also watch this chart, because before this trend line retest, There is no big support, and more it goes down, more psychology will change.